Hey, what's going on, Trucking World? Welcome to Trucker. I'm Jimmy Chadwick. If you're asking yourself, what in the world am I doing? What am I up to? Well, the best answers I can give you on that is one, I'm a trucker. Two, I'm a passionate trucker. And three, I'm honestly following my integrity on this. And I'm not sure where it's taking me at the moment, but I do know that my diligence will see me through this one way or the other. And along my path of what I'm doing, I'm trying to help as many young truckers and experienced truckers as I possibly can. You know, it should never matter who brings the rice to the table. As long as we all get to enjoy it as an industry, that's all that should matter. And if you see my video, GPS awareness, that's a real thing. And it's up to you to decide if it's real for you, but that was real for me. And if you think about it, you know, GPS is a wonderful, wonderful tool. But at the end of the day, that's all it is, it's a tool. And I think through the course of the years, we put so much trust into that GPS. It's like we're giving it power slowly, because the more that we invest our time and our effort into that GPS, it kind of takes a skill set away from other things. You know, next thing you know, we're really not doing our pre-trips as much as we should, or as diligent as we should, and we start taking other shortcuts, and that's what I did through 10 years of my life. You know, if this works, well, then maybe I want to do this that much, and I got away from that, and in the process, you know, I gained a lot of weight. I started having high blood pressure, and I was scared. I was really scared. And I had to turn my life around, because I was no closer to retirement than, well, probably the same time I came into this industry 25 years ago. And that's real talk right there, you know. It's the life of a trucker. It's the life of a trucker. And if you are a trucker, if you're coming to this industry, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to tell you, the trucking industry is one of the most wonderful careers you can possibly have. We have so much history in our country, so many beautiful landmarks to go see. And if you're going to be a trucker, you should look forward to doing these things. And I'm going to show you how I start doing this. And we're going to talk about trip planning right now. And trip planning, let me tell you guys, it's being a trucker, I know we have the option to trip plan with the GPS, or we have the option to trip plan with an Atlas. The Atlas is going to take you 25, 45 minutes, and depending on where you go, it may take even that much longer. The GPS don't only take you about 30 seconds, but hear this now, okay? When you plug into that GPS and you're out on the highway, 30 seconds, and then you're making sure you have your coffee, get your snacks, your load secure, you're on your way. Just one thing. This one thing now. Before you leave, I want you to prepare for something. Your trip, just from trucking alone, with the traffic, people cutting in front of us, dealing with shippers, receivers, everyday traffic, you're gonna have that emotion and stress there. That's embedded into trucking. It's always there. It's always gonna be there. When we do not have a proper trip plan, and we just go ahead and put into a GPS and take off, you're adding emotion and stress to your trip. You probably say, how? Really easy. You're not in control. You're not in control. You're doing what that GPS is telling you to do. If that GPS tells you to turn in 3.5 miles, I bet you're going to turn 3.5 miles, because it said to tell you to turn. You know, that's real talk, guys. You know, if you take your GPS or take your Atlas and compare it to your GPS, or you take the route from your GPS and you write the highways down, you know what? When you write them down, it's gonna give you a little more logical information in your head, and it's really not a bad idea when you're being a trucker, because if you write the highways down, and usually when we write things down, it also sinks in our head a little bit. If we just look at it, it's not going to embed into our head as we write it. I learned that in school. Forensic science. I learned that in forensic science where I learned that. But that's true. Write your highways down, and then when you're on the highway, you're on your route, you're along your trip. You know what? You're not giving that GPS all the responsibility, because now you're gonna be able to look at the GPS, but you're also gonna be able to scan yourself. Because as soon as you wrote these highways down, and when you see an upcoming highway and a billboard, like miles down the road, when you're scanning far down like you should, you're going to see the highway. You're going to see it before the GPS tells you about it, and it's not going to matter where you're at, because you're going to see it first, and that's going to give you the proper time to make your lane changes, make sure the space around your truck is secure, and that you're still in control. When we're driving and we don't have that extra knowledge of where we're going, and we're just putting all the responsibility in the GPS, and here's another thing, which I'm not going to get into this, but I will get into this eventually. We're driving in the center lane, and then your exit's coming up in like 2 miles, and sometimes the GPS doesn't tell you until the last minute, whatever. I mean, I've seen that happen. It happened to me. And, now you have to get over within 2 miles, and now you have to do this with a sense of urgency. And one thing I'm going to tell you about trucking, there should never be a sense of urgency when it comes to trucking unless it's dealing with safety, period. All right? So if you guys, whatever kind of trip planning you're doing, if you want to have a really good career, or if you want to change your career to be more efficient, if you want to start lowering some of your emotions and some of your stress levels, start doing a better trip plan and stop putting all the responsibility to that GPS. Take the 15 minutes. Take the 15 minutes and write it down. Have you ever just taken time before and just take some time for yourself? I mean, you worked all week. You deserve this time. Sometimes we'll just take an hour. We won't do it. We won't do nothing. Just sit there. After all, it's just time. And it's your time, right? How about your trip plan? That deserves time too. That deserves your diligence. That deserves your expertise. And we're getting away from that because we're putting so much responsibility into that GPS. And we're wondering why we're emotional and stressed all the time. Yeah, because, it's because we have a love-hate relationship with our GPS. I had one, and if I had one, I know one of you have had one. So going forward and stuff now, to get back on track, let's start taking steps, the correct steps of being a trucker, because the more momentum you put into that first step, the trip planning, is going to carry you along the process of the rest of the steps of being a trucker. And you know what? When you get to that 7th step, you know what you do? You start back at step number 1. And if you keep doing that on all your trips, you're going to have a successful career. So I hope you guys drive safe, and hope to see you soon.